Hello everyone, I all hope you had a very beautiful day and a very great day ahead. As you can see, today is very cold and very rain with full with rain showers and cloudy and sunny. But I'm also wearing warm as you can see. I'm wearing my jersey and I'm quietly here to tell you about the story about the Growler clan. The Growler clan are a group a family of four nation hunters with dark powers, with extremely dark powers, able to teleport, able to reappear with magic staffs, with rod, and with magical abilities to absorb attacks and also to reattain them, and also to use these attacks as a power source in order to fight the opponents and the adversaries during in battle. During the early centuries, when Laurel formed the first alliance, the first Growler descendants were recruited to become the members of the alliance, and they were happy to join the cause of Laurel and his cause in order to fight against an ancient supervillain known as the Dark King. The members of the alliance fought against the Dark King, and they were able to defeat him. But in doing so, Laurel discovered something that shocked his existence forever, that corrupted him to become the Laurel Magic. After the defection of Laurel and Amber from the alliance decided to proceed and move forward, recruiting members of the descendants to join the great cause of the alliance, and also recruiting other members and descendants of the great Growler families and all the other families of the Hellfire, Starwood, Unity, Ferris, Darkest, Darkin, Growler. These are the descendants of the Four Nation Hunter families that they are recruiting, and the Four Nation Hunter families that I just mentioned. Recruiting all these descendants would exactly reform the alliance in order to fight against a good fight against monsters and dark sinister forces. When the Lolo Magic was in power in the early centuries, the alliance exactly stood a great cause against him, fighting him in every way that can exactly stop him from rising to power and also from ascending to power. And with his help and his aid were his followers known as the Dark Druids and the Dark Witches and the Dark Faithful, and Amber, the goddess of power, known as also the Witch of Power, the Dark Seekers. The secondary alliance was able to succeed in stopping the Lolo Magic sinister plan to conquer all the worlds and all the worlds and all the known universes across sacred existence and also sacred world itself. Over the following centuries, the other members of the Growler family, of the descendants of the Growler family, some of them defected and discovered secrets of the Four Nation powers and the Four Nation Growler heritage, and about the abilities that some of them have the power to manipulate dark magic. Some of them have the power to manipulate dark magic, creating dark magic orbs in order to project, in order to control the dead and the living, and also to getting the truth out from the living and also from the dead, and also to sensing energies, ancient energies such as the Loro Magic, the Dark Druids, the Dark Witches, Amber, Dark Seekers, Ice Druids and Ice Witches, Four Nation Hunters, Five Nation Hunters, Six Nation Hunters, Seven Nation Hunters energies, Origins even. They have the immense ability of controlling dark energy and manipulating it in a very advanced way in order to exactly understand and understand and locate their enemies, and also sensing their whereabouts with their magical abilities. The Growler clan was never meant to be underestimated. Over the following centuries, the Growler clan has plagued the sacred world and the sacred universe through hardships and through many hardships. When the other descendants of the Growler family joined the alliance and the others defected, they became the supervillains of the Growler clan and the supervillains of the sacred world, and also the supervillains of sacred existence. The Four Nation Hunters were faced with a harsh decision in order to stop the Growler descendants and to stopping them from wreaking enormous amounts of catastrophic havoc, which they exactly did by doing so. They prevented them from making a bunch of catastrophic havoc and from creating a catastrophic event that could change sacred history forever, as they exactly did. And they also exactly did it. They completely exactly did it. They literally exactly prevented them from wreaking a catastrophic havoc and from changing sacred history forever. In doing so, over the following centuries, the Growler Queen and Growler King have lived in their own mystical dimension known as Crystal City. It's a dimension within the very sacred universe. They quietly lived there for centuries, and over time they've lived there with the rest of the with the rest of the Growler descendants and the rest of the Growler families. In doing so, the Growler Queen and the Growler King are more powerful and are more stronger and are more immortal. They have the power to teleport, the power of dark teleportation, and the power of reappearing, and the power of blasting dark magic powers, and the power of using a dark magic staff in order to fight energy with energy blasts and with energy power. The Growler Queen is very capable with superhuman with superhuman physiology. She has superhuman physiology and the power to retain and reabsorb all the attacks and all any other attacks. She can exactly take it and also fight back with super speed, super strength, and also invulnerability. The Growler King, on the other hand, has the power to absorb attacks and also has the power to draw dark magic power orbs and the power to sense energies and the power to teleport and the power to open portals and the power to exactly sense energies, ancient energies across sacred existence, and 4 Nation Hunter energies and 5 Nation Hunter energies. Over the following centuries, within the 20th century, the Growler King and Growler Queen have decided to expand the entire sacred city, the Crystal City, and using the dimension and the crystal powers in order to expand the city, and also with its inhabitants and its people, make sure that their magical abilities and powers were at work. When hearing the news of the Growler descendants who defected from the Alliance, they were quietly not exactly horrified or quietly devastated. They were quietly happy and quietly very pleased with the results, because in doing so they can exactly begin raising an army of a Growler clan, of a Growler clan of superhuman Growler clan, in order to take over Sacred World, in order to take over humanity. That was a plan for a long time, but their plans were quietly thwarted due to the intervention of the Alliance, who are able to exactly prevent them from exactly ruling and controlling sacred existence and the sacred world in doing so. When the 4 Nation Hunters and the Growler clan members fought for the battle, the Growler Queen and the Growler King also fought and stood by the people's side and fought the intruders on their dimension, and they were able to fight. But in doing so, the battle left a catastrophic destruction on the Crystal City. The Crystal City sank into the ocean, sank straight into the ocean. The members of the Growler family also sank under beneath the ocean cities, couldn't exactly survive the underwater pressure of their powers and their abilities. Some were able to teleport, others were quickly drowning. Some were unable to exactly found during the destruction. The 4 Nation Hunters searched the entire destructed city looking for the Growler King and Growler Queen. All they found was just statues of the Growler King and also the descendants of the Growler family. The rest of the descendants of the Growler family were able to defect from the Alliance because they discovered their powers and their abilities. Some of them were living on Earth for so many years and for so many centuries, able to exactly use their powers to create crimes and numerous crimes, to commit petty crimes and numerous crimes. They were exactly tracked down by the 4 Nation Hunters and were able to exactly be taken ultimately to custody, while the others were exactly working with the Lulu magic, becoming the next followers and using their dark magic and their dark power to manipulate shadow energy at the highest quantity in order to expand the Shadow Empire's ruling and dominance. The Growler King and Growler Queen defected and retreated back, teleported away from the city that was in destructive state, left from the central command, went straight from the central command, and they were able to remain there for the following centuries. After hearing the news of the Lulu Magic's death and the reformed of the Universal Heroes and the Shadow Empire and Chaos, the Growler King and the Growler King, the Growler King and the Growler Queen were very quietly pleased with the result. They decided to convene with the rest of the Growler family in order to proceed with their next plan, in order to take over the sacred world and sacred existence. But in doing so, the rest of the descendants informed them that the Shadow Empire warlords would exactly be working with them and they would exactly be aiding them in their respective conquests in order to conquer planet Earth and the rest of humanity. But they were quietly at war with the secret societies of the supervillains known as the Order of the Six, Order of the Seven, the Founders, the Order of the Five, the Dark Order, the Dark Order, the Dark Order, and the Sacred Circle, the Galactic. These secret societies of supervillains were at war with each other, and with the war with the coalition, with the intergalactic coalition, and also with the universal heroes, and also with the champions of the entire sacred universe and the 4 Nation Hunters and all its defenders. In doing so, the Growler King and the Growler King were forced to change tactics in order to exactly use their growing fleet in order to attack the other planets in the other worlds, in order to make sure that this will not exactly leak back to them. The Shadow Empire warlords were able to report back to them and told them that the intergalactic coalition has successfully neutralized their threats and their growing fleets and their martyrs by liberating all the other worlds and all the other civilizations that are still under Shadow Empire rule and under Shadow Empire control. The Growler King wasn't quietly devastated. He was quietly very pleased with the news, despite that he informed the rest of the descendants and tell them it's start to begin their operations on Earth and start attacking and start exactly using superhumans as an army to wage war with the Shadow Empire and start destroying it piece by piece, which the Shadow Empire warlords happily obliged by doing so, and they exactly obliged by doing so by attacking the intergalactic coalition and attacking the citizens of Earth by using their supernatural powers and their abilities in order to wreak havoc and create crimes and disasters and catastrophic events, which in doing so would help the Universal Prince and his secret society, known as the Order of the Twelve, to seize the Universal Throne and subpoena the Universal Throne for him to ascend at the throne and for him to become the new Universal King, and thrust mankind and the entire sacred universe in chaos and in flames of chaos, so that he could rule from that chaos and lift the evolution of humanity. The Growler King and the Growler King and the rest of the Growler family of 4 Nation hunters have become the allies of the Order of the Twelve and decided to aid them in their respective conquests, since they share the same dream of conquering worlds and conquering planets and other civilizations. They've decided to take care of the intergalactic coalition and promise that they'll wipe them out as soon as possible. As soon as they hear news of Everly Granny's report to the Order of the Five, the Growler Queen was quietly unpleased with the assessment of Discovery. She decided it's time that they reconvene with the Order of the Twelve and inform them that the plan of the Universal Heroes in liberating all the worlds and stopping the Shadow Empire from growing in power and working hand in hand with the Intergalactic Coalition with the Universal Heroes has to be stopped once and for all. The other Shadow Empire warlords agreed, and so did Nightmare, who is a supervillain and a member of the Order of the Twelve, a secret society of supervillains formed by the Universal Prince, who is in his respective conquest to conquer the known universe, and also the sacred universe and sacred existence, and rule the universal throne. The Universal Prince agreed that it's time to change tactics and switch tactics in order to stop the Shadow Empire from growing. The Growler King dispute that as a sign of weakness, which he promised the Universal Prince that he will exactly help him ascend to the throne by allowing his forces and his assets and his agents to wreak havoc on a larger scale than ever, which they very quietly did. Battles from two sides were enormously lost. The casualties were enormous amount of casualties on both sides, and the news was quite horrific that the Intergalactic Coalition was managed to exactly capture and recapture and take some of the Shadow Empire warlords into custody, questioning them about who dispatched them, who assigned them. Before they can exactly say anything or anything else, the Growler Queen with their psychic dark magical powers put them straightly into a comatose coma, where they won't be able to say anything about the information about who's leading them and who's leading them and who's guiding them on the mission and what their plans of their mission on the mission and of their sinister plans. They were silently taken into a comatose coma, put into a comatose coma straight away, before they can say anything or give information about the revolution, about their plans that their masters are planning out. Over the following years, the members of the Growler family and the members of the Growler families convened with the Growler King in the 20th of November and decided it's time that they plan their next stage in order to use the Dark Crystal and Shadow Energy to harvest as much energy and power and capacity throughout all the other worlds. But the Growler King said that it's time exactly to proceed with the next operation with the ritual and start to begin an incantation. Magica was able to sense the Growler energy and dark magic and dark capacity of dark magic's power, and were able to sense that something big is about to take place. And she decided that she and the magic heroes, the universal magic heroes, would exactly take effectiveness in order to stop this ritual. They fought with the descendants of the Growler family using their magical powers and abilities. Some were able to teleport out, but they stopped the ritual by destroying the crystal and all the other crystals and all the other power source. The member of the rest of the Growler family were able to teleport away. Some were taken ultimately into custody. Others used a dark staff and power to open a portal and disappear into other dark dimensions and other unknown dimensions throughout sacred existence and throughout the sacred universe. Despite this, the Growler family is voluminously powerful. They have dark powers able to teleport, reappear, dark magic abilities, and superhuman physiology, super speed, super strength, invulnerability. They are extremely powerful and they're extremely immortal beings. They are very, very intelligent, and they're not meant to be underestimated, especially the Growler King and the Growler Queen. They are the most powerful and feared within the Growler clan because of their family's long history. They're a family of 4 Nation hunters, but a family of supervillains and superheroes. Both sides within the family, some of the descendants became members of the Alliance and members of the Intergalactic Coalition, while the other members became members of the supervillain secret society, while the others formed and joined forces with the Growler King and with the Growler Queen in order to aid them in their respective conquests, in order to conquer the known universe and the sacred universe and all their power. They share the same beliefs, and they share the same beliefs and they share the same vision with their masters and with their leaders and with their big bad, with the big bad bosses known as the big bad supervillains of the Order of the 12, and they share their dream to conquer and rule the known universe and the entire sacred existence and the entire sacred universe and all of it, and also ruling humanity by placing their species as a sole dominance of the entire planet Earth. They are not meant to be underestimated. Over time, they convene together again in order to discuss the victories that they had over the other worlds and control all the other civilizations, which they exactly did. In doing so, they were able to exactly talk more with the Growler King and exactly inform them that the plan is going well, but they learned a lesson from these heroes that they should not be underestimated, which the Growler King exactly admitted that he can't exactly underestimate their abilities and their power. Despite them in saving worlds and all abilities and all other planets, that it's time that they can never underestimate these heroes ever again. And that was the last time the Growler King and the Growler Queen and the rest of the descendants of the Growler family were able to convene in November, and they convened with the Order of the 12 and informed and reassured the Universal Prince and his secret society that they will take measures in order not to underestimate heroes and the abilities never to underestimate the universal heroes and the world heroes, the united heroes, or all the four nation hunters with their abilities in disrupting their plan and also in compromising their sinister plans in their respective conquests and their long-term plan in ruling mankind and also the rest of human civilization through sheer force of will or through force. They will do whatever it takes to rule humanity by any means necessary. But that plan hasn't come to fruition due to the intervention of the universal heroes, the world heroes, the fire heroes, the universal space heroes, the united heroes, the intergalactic coalition, the magic heroes, magic girl and magic man. Due to their intervention, they prevented the enslavement and the conquest of all the other worlds and all the other planets from taking place. They formed an alliance with the Shadow and with some of the Shadow Empire warlords and also with the Dark Witch Snow in order to exactly aid her in her respective mission, in order for her to exactly annihilate all the other Shadow Empire warlords with the dark magic, because they exactly see her as an ally to the mission and to an ally to her mission, an ally to her mission, and also an ally to their mission, because they exactly decided to aid each other in their respective conquests and in their respective mission. Despite this, the Growler King and the Growler Queen are very ruthless and are very powerful and are very deadly. The rest of the Growler clan is very kind. Some of them are very kind. Others of them are not so kind. Some of them are very quietly, purely evil. Some are quietly powerful for nation hunters with great abilities, with superhuman speed, with superhuman reflex, super healing, regenerative healing. They are very immortal beings with the power of dark teleportation, with the power of reappearing, and with the power of opening portals and doors to other dimensions and other worlds. They are not meant to be underestimated. The descendants, however, though, are quietly good. Some of them are quietly good. Some of them are entered a new leaf with the Intergalactic Coalition, have joined forces with the Intergalactic Coalition, aiding the Universal Heroes and the United Heroes in saving the world and in saving humanity and all the other worlds and all the other planets and all the other universes, the Sacred Universe, the Mixel Universe, the Star Universe, the Golden Universe, the Sacred Universe, the Mixel Universe, the Sacred Universe, the Golden Universe, the Star Universe, Mixel Universe, and the Golden Universe. All those other universes, and also the robotic universe, saving all those other universes from total destruction and from total conquest, saving it and saving all the other worlds from powerful villains known as the Dark King, Lord Justin, Victor Darkness, Universal Prince, Ray Darkest, Dark Light, Shadow Master, Goddess of Life, Nebula Bringer, Jack Bringer, Nebula Bringer and Jack Bringer, Witchcaster, the Dark Druids and the Dark Witches and the Dark Faithful, Ghostmaster, Golden Knight, Showface, the Dark Order, all these sinister threats and all these sinister villains, and the Shadow Empire warlords, Zandak, Shadow Bounty Hunter, Shadow Brothers, Shadow Empire warlords, and the Shadow Empire itself, that is still in disastrous collaboration in chaos with itself. The Universal Heroes have fought the worst of the worst, including the Warlord Magic and Ember, who is still actively alive and still actively poses as a threat to the entire Sacred Universe and to the entire Sacred History, which the entire Sacred Authorities and the rest of the Sacred Team are still searching for looking for across the known universe and still trying to find out where she is and where she's been hiding, and what exactly is her plan, or who she exactly has aligned herself with, which society has she joined forces with, and who is she in collaboration with exactly, and for how long will this war go on, and exactly this war has reached a boiling max point in the future of it. While humanity lives a peaceful life with superhumans and other supernatural beings on the other side, while this sacred war reaches a boiling point across the other sacred universe, across any other sacred universe, the universe, or here's an intergalactic coalition determined to restore peace and balance, no matter how hard it is. They'll fight until the end to stop these villains and all these foes and all these mysterious adversaries. These dark witches, known as Dark Witch Laura, Nebula Bringer, Amber, 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 also Amber, the goddess of power, the witch of power, the goddess of life, witch girl, dark witch boy, and also Switch, and the dark druids and the dark witches and the dark faithful are not meant to be underestimated. Just like the Growler family, they are not meant to be underestimated at all costs. Well, I all hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope you have a nice. I hope we have a nice weekend, a very blessed weekend. May God bless you all, and remember, stay positive and stay happy, stay healthy. See you next week Monday. Bye. Bye. Bye.